Smile and say cheese. That's what Eileen Eichten and her family do here in Center City, Minnesota, where they turn out award-winning cheeses and meats. I'm Jason Davis. Tonight we'll take you on the road to the Eichten farm. And we'll travel with Eileen to West Africa, where she teaches a nomadic tribe how to get the most out of their cows. With so much success, they made her a queen.
Minna Sota.
I'll talk with Channel 5's Harris Faulkner about her very emotional journey to the homeland of her ancestors, where she was an eyewitness to a mass burial of people who died from AIDS.
I'd never seen anything like that.
Don't move the dial. On the Road is next.
When we go on the road, there's a place I want to see. When we go on the road, why don't you come with me? Take a little ride, get a little windshield time. When we go on the road.
Back in the mid-70s, Eileen Eichten was a financially strapped dairy farmer who decided to take a chance. Today, no one can match the European-style cheeses produced by the Eichten family. Tonight, we're on the road at the Eichten farm near Center City to show you how one Minnesotan did a lot more than just save the family farm.
This is your curds that are going to make the cheese. All cheese should start this way. You have to get it from the liquid to the solid.
If there was a royal family of cheese, Eileen Eichten would be the queen.
Oh, no.
3 or 4 times a week, she supervises the production of a wide variety of Goudas, Cheddars, Swiss, and even a Scandinavian specialty called Tilsit.
This is our aging room. This is our room where...
I want to get older in here, will I?
Yeah, yeah, you will. No, this is where it gains its flavor. This is where I've got cheese aged from 2 days to 10 years.
It's a cheese lover's dream. Dozens of flavored Goudas just sitting on the shelves getting tastier by the day.
There's a peppercorn garlic. Peppercorn garlic. And that came about for wine tasting because peppercorn and black pepper go so nicely with wine.
That is, I love it. This is really good. If you're wondering where Eileen gets the bison or buffalo meat to put in her smoky cheese, you only have to go to look for her father, Joe, and her brother, Ed.
Every year it gets just a little bigger.
Over nearly 20 years, the Eichtens have built up a herd of about 300 head of bison or buffalo.
I raise everything that I feed my animals, so we have total control of everything. We raise all the feed they eat.
And they can eat 3 or 4 of these huge round bales every day.
The all-American bison meatloaf, huh?
Visitors to the Eichten family's store and bistro can taste the animal, cooked by Eileen's sister Mariette, and served in her new restaurant. Or they can buy the fresh meat and try it at home. Eichten's Hidden Acre Farm has become a popular attraction on Highway 8 between Taylor's Falls and Center City. But what brings most people here is the thing that made them famous in the first place.
Someone in the city says Gouda, someone will say Eichtens.
In the early 90s, Eileen decided to share what she'd learned with people thousands of miles away from this Minnesota farm. Members of the Fulani tribe had been practicing the same dairy traditions for hundreds of years. But if they were to have a future, they would have to change their ways. We were totally unprepared for the excitement of the Fulani people at our arrival. The women, a blaze of color in their brightly printed dresses, held back at first, but as the children surged forward, our car was quickly surrounded. This was our escort into the Fulani compound at Jikiri in the western highlands of Cameroon.
Thank you.
The men of this unique tribe had been waiting for several hours to greet these visitors from America, and every one of them wanted to shake our hands. Then they mounted their highly spirited, half-wild Arabian horses and galloped back and forth to show off. For the Fulanis, our arrival was proof that someone cared about their fate. They are smart, and they know their nomadic way of life has to come to an end. Their efforts to form a cooperative dairy brought us to this remote part of the world, and they were grateful.
It's like a bridge into the future. they see they see this thing being concrete. They can now touch it. They can now see you coming out with your cameras to come and see what they're doing here, to take back to the people they've been working with, their sister cooperative in the United States.
The native Cameroonians too celebrated our presence in their country. With Eileen Eichten Carlson, a Minnesota dairy expert who was there to teach the women about milk hygiene, we were invited to visit the Fon. The Fon is the paramount chief of the entire region. He has 98 wives, and tradition has it, he must spend time with every one. To help feed his enormous family, we brought gifts of salt, palm oil, and a live ram. He graciously accepted our offerings and invited us into the inner sanctums of his palace in Kumbo. It was here that we were all surprised by an honor bestowed on Eileen. 4 princesses dressed in red robes stepped forward with a special garment. Eileen was to be crowned queen, honorary queen of an entire region of West Africa. The printed fabric can only be worn by royalty, and once clothed in this dress, this gregarious dairy farmer and cheesemaker from Minnesota was someone to be saluted.
This is the royal bag.
Eileen still treasures her bag full of royal adornment.
This is the necklace.
Is that copper?
This is copper, one solid ring of copper that can't be taken apart.
And that's very valuable, I suppose.
Oh, yes, it is, because it's a metal.
If Eileen wore her royal pattern dress in West Africa today, she'd receive special treatment, and the Cameroonians would never be allowed to physically touch her. Queen she'll be for as long as she lives. What did you feel like when they...
Well, I felt like I didn't do that much, but yet I did and didn't realize it till I really got home. How many in our group here are milking the new way?
Eileen had crossed cultural barriers to teach sanitation to 125 women who'd never been allowed to go to school.
Once they tasted clean milk, they didn't go back. They didn't go back.
You changed their lives.
I did change their lives in a way.
10 years have passed since Eileen's visit, and that change has come slowly. Today, the Fulani use modern artificial insemination techniques, and they've added several hundred cattle to their herd. We're told a new plant that would produce dairy products is built, but there's no money to run it. Africa has a way of changing the lives of those who see it, too. Coming up, we'll talk with Channel 5's Harris Faulkner about witnessing the impact of AIDS and her very personal response to what she saw.
My mouth was gaping open. The tears were flowing. I'd never seen anything like that.
And later, the Minnesota family that lives by the motto, more is better.
I'm Abe. I'm Solomon.
Joanna.
I'm Ben.
And so today we prepare ourselves to make that journey, to continue to make a difference.
When Channel 5's news anchor Harris Faulkner was invited to join a group of Minnesotans on an unusual trip overseas, the reason for the journey reached into her heart.
That's life. Look how thin this thread is that holds this very heavy wood.
We met her at her home in Minneapolis to talk to her about the experience and ask her why she traveled 10,000 miles across the world with a group of religious leaders, medical experts and business people to a country ravaged by disease.
To see what they could do to ease the pain and suffering of young people in particular, that next generation of AIDS victims in South Africa. That was the story, to see what a few people could do about a huge problem.
Just how huge the AIDS problem is in Africa in general and South Africa in particular really hit home one weekend morning on the outskirts of Cape Town, where a grisly event has been held every week for several years. They call it Funeral Day.
Funeral Day is from sun up to sundown, burying the dead from the week before, predominantly from AIDS. And every Saturday, they put people into the ground.
This stark reminder of more than 500 wasted lives devastated this young black American woman who had only been to one funeral in her life.
I had no idea the effect that seeing that many people buried in one day would have on me. I'd never seen anything like that. I mean, just the thought of having to bury that many people every Saturday for something that in this country we at least have drugs to treat hurt like you can't believe. Unbelievable. Did you feel helpless then? Yeah. Yeah.
But there were also joyful moments for Harris Faulkner. A visit to a church was a celebration of life and faith, something she could enjoy and join.
They sing. These voices and this music is just infectious. I hear the music and I thought, I'm home. I mean, it just touched me in such a deep way that while I didn't know the words to sing along to, I felt very comfortable and very much a part of that service, standing and sitting among these people.
The journey to the continent of her ancestors had a profound effect on Harris, a child of the 60s whose memories are colored by differences in shades of skin.
I remember they were just taking down the coloreds only signs. I was born in Georgia. And in the South, eye contact among particularly black men was difficult to get because their heads were down. Mm-hmm. Not on the African continent. Men, women, look at you. That eye contact is piercing.
For the first time in her life, she was not a minority. For the first time, she was surrounded by millions of people just like her.
Thank you so much for making us feel so welcome.
It changed her life.
I looked into their faces and I could see the faces of my grandparents.
We feel your love and your joy.
To be able to up close and personal touch where my ancestors came from, to walk on that soil, to hear that music, to see that sun, to view that moon, I'll never be the same.
And we love you and have joy and hope in all of you as well.
The AIDS epidemic on this great continent shows no sign of slowing. More than 10 million will die in South Africa alone by the year 2010. Harris Faulkner is an eyewitness to this international tragedy, and she says she will forevermore work to bring it to the attention of as many people as she can reach.
This is a very, very important story. The story of human condition where a dozen Minnesotans can make a difference. What a privilege we had to be there to gather that.
Coming up, you'll see how the fate of 10,000 children in Africa weighs heavily on the shoulders of 18 boys and girls traveling through Minnesota and Iowa. Later, you'll see why 1 + 1 adds up to a lot more for this family in War Road, Minnesota. Out of the mouths of babes, so they say. You know, sometimes children say the most amazing things that should be heeded by kids and adults alike. Tonight in a segment we call That's Amazing, how 18 children from an African country are singing for their lives and the lives of 10,000 other kids. These Iowa school children know about winter, but not about Africa.
It's a continent. They got a lot of wildlife. Lots of animals. Lots of animals. Zebras. Kangaroos. Snakes. They don't wear the same clothes as us.
These kids from Uganda know about Africa, but not a lot about winter.
Maybe you'll make a snowman here.
7-year-old Sharon Chasamire is seeing snow for the first time.
Snow's good.
They've had plenty of practice setting up after more than 150 performances around the world. The Watoto Children's Choir is here to entertain and to educate Americans about Africa and one of its major problems.
It's hot there. There's lots of animals. People get AIDS.
AIDS is why Sharon and her choir mates are here.
Both of my parents died when I was just a few months old.
That deadly disease killed Sharon's mother and father and the parents of most of the kids in this choir. They are all orphans, and they are singing their way around the world to raise money and awareness.
What we're doing as an organization is we're building small homes for children and putting them into family settings as opposed to, dormitories.
There are 800,000 more orphans just like them back home. The kids call their choir director Uncle Timothy. He says they're learning more touring with the choir than they ever would in a classroom in Africa.
They become confident. They become good public speakers. And they can talk to people, and it's amazing.
Here's something you don't see very often in Minnesota: hundreds of buffalo grazing in a field. Tonight on the Road Destinations, things to do and see around Center City, Minnesota. You know you're in the city of Lindstrom when you spot its famous water tower, the world's largest Swedish coffee pot. On special occasions, the pot also emits steam out of its spout. This Lutheran church in nearby Center City is famous to moviegoers. It was the site of the wedding scene in the film Grumpy Old Men. But you'll find a more bizarre sight further down Highway 8. Unusual tree shapes, shimmering metal, and even old cars are made into works of art at the Franconia Sculpture Park, which bills itself as the only outdoor sculpture park with working artists in the Midwest. Admission is free. If art's not to your taste, perhaps the meats at the local butchers are. The community market in Lindstrom is well known for their fresh and smoked sausages, made up from owner Pete Nelson's family recipes that date back half a century. For more information about our on-the-road destinations, as well as details about the Watoto Children's Choir from Uganda, just go to our website at KSTP.com. Don't go away. We'll be back with our On-the-Road Classic. And have you found Hitch yet? Let us know, and you could win an on-the-road souvenir at KSTP.com. What does it take to be a top dog? How about top dog in Minnesota? Top dog in the country. I'm Jason Davis. Join me on the road across Minnesota as we meet some of the finest and funniest pooches around. That's Saturday night at 10:35 here on Channel 5. Members of Eileen Eichten's family really pull their weight. Sister Marietta runs this store and the restaurant, and Brother Ed takes care of the bison. Just imagine what the Eichners could do if they had a family like the Hepners in Warroad, Minnesota.
Hello, Mrs. Furrer, please. This is Jemima calling from Hepner and Hepner.
Miriam and Dwayne Hepner's first child was a girl, Jemima.
You're going to be getting a refund. Would you mind?
She's now 21. So at the time, it seemed only natural to have one more.
We planned on having a boy in April, and we had a boy in April. And we thought, wow, we're good. We're in control here.
The young couple with the perfect American family took every precaution to keep it that way.
We were doubling up on items that should have by themselves been 97% effective.
But when the babies kept coming, they had a big change of attitude.
And then our sixth one was the first one that we said, okay, God, you're in control.
Let's meet the Hepners today.
I'm Joel.
I'm Moses. I'm Susie.
I'm Sam. I'm Josiah.
I'm Micah. I'm Jemima. I'm Abe.
I'm Solomon.
Joanna. I'm Ben.
And Pete.
And the latest, 2-year-old Elizabeth and Zachariah, who's 5 months. A total of 14 children.
We have 8 boys.
9.
9.
With Zachariah.
9 boys and 5 girls, an average of 18 months apart, and not one of them has to leave the house to go to school. Miriam and Dwayne decided at the start that they would homeschool their children.
Where's it, Nan? Count on this one. Where's 0?
4, 6, 8.
Never dreaming they would have such a large class size.
Okay, you're both wrong.
And while the kids study, Dwayne keeps on building more house to shelter his growing brood. Bedrooms here are called dormitories. Food is purchased by the pickup load, and clothes always end up as hand-me-downs.
With each child that we add into our family, we have to continually become more organized, work on systems more within our home.
There's no television in this busy home, but it's not all work. With a family this size, there's enough players to make teams for outdoor games like hockey or soccer. And in the evenings,
she's on my team.
Simple word games involve everyone.
Oh, you never get bored. And as far as peace and quiet, you learn how to tune things out. Sometimes too much, but...
Meal times are a study in organization, with everyone who is able giving a hand. And after dinner, this Christian family sings together.
You've asked everything, but you've forgotten the one most important question.
What is that?
Is she pregnant?
And?
Not yet.
And blessed be the rock, and may the God of my salvation be exalted.
We hope you've enjoyed our show tonight. Join us every Saturday night at 10:35 right after Eyewitness News. We leave you with the sights and sounds of Africa. I'm Jason Davis. Good night.